Thank you so much for joining me back here on my channel. As you can see, I have a very special guest with me today, Lesa J. She's a trailblazer, she's an innovator, she's a creator of culture, and she is my special guest today. Thank you so much for joining me on my show.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. I always want to reach out and have these Culture Fuzz conversations with people who create culture and create a safe space for people to express themselves. And before I keep babbling on, why don't you go ahead and tell my viewers and listeners who you are and what you do?
Okay, I am Lesa J, BrickToYaFace.com. I do graphic design, I do branding, marketing. We throw events through BrickToYaFace. We do promotions through BrickToYaFace. I manage Noah. I'm 1/3 of his management team. I help with his day-to-day organization, book shows, book interviews, do whatever we need to do.
You also have a podcast, right? Women's Wave? Are you still
No.
doing that?
Actually not.
Okay. I did some
we
research.
Did. Well, we did.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I did some digging. I was like, I didn't know that was a podcast. But as you can see, she is a Renaissance woman. Wherever she is needed, that is what she does.
Pretty much.
And BrickToYaFace has celebrated like a 10-year milestone, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
We did Common Ground 10-year anniversary. BrickToYaFace and Common Ground started at the same time. Common Ground is the showcase, and then BrickToYaFace is the promotion company. But yeah, we had Common Ground anniversary, 10 years, throwing events, building a community. Like you said, a safe space for people, really just a hub for people.
Right.
The creatives that in the community, you could come and find other musicians, producers, graphic designers, media outlets, like anything going on. Just network, see who's within your community that's doing stuff, the different things they're doing. Now with Common Ground, we have like more vendors involved, live artists involved. So even you get that culture too of the local community.
Yeah, no, that's a huge deal. Community is so important for people, especially creatives. And 10 years is a very, very long time to have something so successfully running. Can you please talk about, first of all, BrickToYaFace, how did you come up with that name?
We were just trying to figure out a name for a promotion company, you know what I mean? Because we were trying to start Common Ground. So we decided, well, really, when Noah dropped his first project, we were trying to get it on blogs. And then, of course, that was like 2009. And that was like blogs were like the new thing, you know what I mean? It's still like very fresh, very new. And then, of course, you're submitting and, or you're trying to find how to submit. And then like you either submit and they don't want to put it up or whatever it is. So we were like, okay, we'll just start our own. So we started BrickToYaFace as a blog. And it was really like, if you found us, or found our submission email, then we would just post you up. Like it's not on us to dictate if it's good or bad. It's you found us, so we're gonna put it up. And then like we wanted people to come to the website and like find new people and be like, oh, that person's dope. And like it ain't like a brick to your face, like, oh, like I don't know who that person is, but like that their talent is dope. Like,
so
you know,
just kind of like hit you like, oh shit, okay.
Yeah, like you could definitely find somebody you don't know on this website, and it might be good music, you might like it, and you know, you end up finding a new artist to follow.
Yeah, and how how many people got drawn to that to the blog site?
We had a lot of people actually, because we like there were certain blogs that were going on that were pretty popular that we ended up connecting with, and like, you know, they would put us on their blog list and we put them on our blog list. And then like we had people from out of state. There's still some people now that still follow us from out of state, and they seen our growth within the IE.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, from like somewhere else, and like when they come out here and whatnot, we'll book them, or like there's be times where when Noah tours, we'll end up in their city, and you know, we end up connecting with them there. But yeah, we had like it went pretty well. We would get a lot of submissions, like I said, different all over the state, sometimes different countries too.
Right.
Just pushing that and just throwing the shows.
So that's a prime example of, if there is no door, we create the door.
Yeah, definitely create the lane, create whatever you need to create.
Yeah, absolutely. And the brand has obviously evolved since then. How was that evolution of BrickToYaFace from being a blog and then to just a platform that curates events? How did you know when it was time to just, okay, people are fucking with us, we need to expand?
Well, we pretty much started it all at the same time, because before Common Ground, we were throwing events already. So Common Ground was just like a continuation of something. And then BrickToYaFace was like, okay, we need to start our own company and our own branding. We at the beginning we tried to have like a promotion company and then have BrickToYaFace as a blog. And then we're like, let's just do all BrickToYaFace. Like BrickToYaFace does it all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it came up at the same time, just because we already Common Ground was already something that was in the works of our past things that we were doing, Building Blocks and Project Bloat IE, and then it went to Common Ground.
Okay.
And then just really the blog idea came because blogging was so big, and like we were trying to get Noah on blogs, and we're like, man, people like, just forget it, we'll just do our own. And then that's why too, is like, if you find us, we'll just put you up because you put in that work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we're putting in work trying to place him on blogs, but it's like they don't like the music or they don't know who he is, and that's just the only thing. And it's like, that's not cool, you know, but they do whatever they want to do, and we'll do whatever we want to do with our site.
Right. So I'm always curious about the journey and the blueprint that each person has built in developing something as successful as BrickToYaFace and Common Ground. I'm always fascinated by the mindset that has to be developed when establishing your own brand, because, you know, I'm building my own brand and I'm just like, holy shit. So what did you have to go through, or what did you teach yourself, or the types of tools you had to develop to take on that mindset of like, oh my gosh, this is growing, I have to grow with it?
We really, I look at it as a responsibility. You know what I mean? Like, it's not my responsibility, but I decided to do this. So it is a little bit of my responsibility of building this community and maintaining it. You know what I mean? Like, it takes years, obviously. Like, you go through a lot of years of like, okay, you feel like you're doing the same thing over and over, but it's really like, you're maintaining it.
Right.
You know, like, because it takes a lot of time it takes a lot of effort to be able to keep something going. You know, just keeping it going. And you have to give yourself credit for being able to keep it going. You know what I mean?
That right there, I want to emphasize on that so much, because, and I'm sure you see this too, there's so many talented artists that are not taking advantage of the tools of 2019 to market their stuff.
Yeah.
I'm seeing so many talented artists with quality work just slapping stuff up online, and then they're like, okay, like, I'm just chilling. What advice do you have for those artists who are just kind of like, okay, I'm just waiting for people to find me?
Honestly, the energy you give is the energy you're gonna get back. So if you're just like, here it is, then people are just gonna be like, there it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, okay, cool.
That's why we, you know, with Noah, it's like we do the promotion videos, or like he does the anime videos because he knows that's his demographic, or he does different things because he knows like this is what his fan base likes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you put the effort into it. Where, you know, when we do shows or whatnot, it's like you put the effort into promoting it because you're excited about it. You show the excitement, then people will be more excited about it. If you're just kind of like, here it is, then people are just gonna be like, okay, I'll get to it when I get to it. Or if you're even just like, oh, here's my new video, check it out when you can, like, that's cool, but you know, you don't have to be like, oh, check it out now, but just be like, check it out. You know what I mean? Like, make an emphasis, or like be adamant about it. Like I said, it's just, if you're kind of whatever about it, people will be whatever about it too.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah, I can definitely attest to that. I'm finding myself that networking is such a huge component in brand awareness, and actually talking to people and developing those relationships. And to hear that you still have those relationships 10 years later is crazy insane. So when you were developing those relationships and stuff like that, like, was it just kind of like, hey, listen to my music, or it was, you know, can we collaborate? Like, how did you go about developing and networking those long-term relationships?
With Noah, he just has already that personality of like talkative and like very welcoming with people. Honestly, I feel like nowadays is people are starting to listen to his music. You know what I mean?
Really?
Because we were throwing a lot of shows, but he wasn't releasing a lot of music.
Okay.
So he was staying in the Eye because of the shows. You know what I mean? You could always find him at the Vibe, always at the Common Ground, talk to him. He would perform once in a while or whatnot. And he would do a lot of performances. But now I feel like, people are listening to his music more, maybe because the music has developed and grown. But it's really like you just have to build a good relationship with people, stay genuine, stay real. You know what I mean? Social media is just hit them back in the comments or do something, just that little interaction just to keep people...
The touching points.
Yeah, just to keep you in front of people's minds. But it's really like, just keep a genuine relationship. You know what I mean? Like every relationship is you have to go into it, of course, not like what can that person do for you, because that's just rude. You know what I mean? It's just keeping it genuine. If you like the person, if you like their music, if you like them just in general, become their friend or like build a real relationship. You know what I mean? But if you only like them for their music or you only want to work with them with music, then be genuine and be real about that too. Like, let's just build on some music.
That actually kind of segues into vulnerability. And to be genuine, to be transparent, there is a big necessity for being vulnerable. And especially in the culture of hip hop, that isn't really like at the forefront of people's minds when developing those relationships. Can you talk to me about tapping into your own vulnerability in order to be accessible and develop those relationships? Is that something that you find difficult, or is it just like, dude, that's just who I am?
I feel like it's easy for me just because I have like Noah there to always like, he's always like encouraging or like something I can run to if something bad happens, type of thing.
Yeah,
so it's easy to be like vulnerable because you have somebody to like just be there for you. If anything happens, you bring your guard down and something bad might happen, or something you didn't expect might happen, type of thing. But honestly, like, it's just easier to be genuine and easier to just be you. And if people don't like it, then it's not they don't like you. They just don't like that. So you just move on to find somebody who likes that in you. You know what I mean? Vulnerability is very hard because, you just don't want to look dumb or you don't want to feel dumb or you don't want to feel a certain type of way. But at the end of the day, like I said, it's if people don't like you because you said something wrong or you did just something minor, it's like, hey, that's me. Like, I'm a human being. Like, and then too, if it's not something minor, shoot, that's just me. Like, I can't change. You know what I mean? I could change it, but I'm fine with that in me. You just don't like it, so
And it's all about vibing. It's like understanding and standing in your own truth and developing that relationship with yourself. So you have that confidence to portray to people. So if people, if you're not that person's flavor, it's not going to be like, I need to go fix my entire self. It's just like, okay.
You're just not their flavor. That's it. It's like I always say, it's never like a no to you. Like if it's a negotiation or even just meeting somebody, it's never a no to like you personally. It's whatever your trait is, they just don't like, or whatever you offer them, they're just not saying yes to. That's really all it is. It's never just you personally.
And that's important for people to really understand, because I think especially in the day and age of social media where it's so easy to get lost in the rabbit hole of comparing yourself to people and thinking that, you see these people have these amazing pages and all these followers and they're like, I want to be an overnight success like them too. And it's like, honey, they've been doing this for fucking 15 years. So
they build relationships. They could have their IG for only a year, but who knows the other relationships they've built or whatever connection and who they know. You know what I mean? It's all about who you know. I used to hate that, like but it really is all about who you know, because there's a lot of things that we're blessed to have because of who we know, where many people will have to pay maybe millions of dollars for, but it's just like we know certain people, we've built a relationship, we've been genuine, whatnot, and it's like it's all about who you know. That's why you have to be cool with people, like, and don't take things personal, because then it ends up making it weird. You know what I mean? And that's the worst thing. Like, everybody doesn't want a weird situation.
Now it's just awkward.
Now it's just awkward, and it's like you see them on social media all the time, and then or like you're out and about, and it's like now it's just weird. So it's just like, just keep it genuine. If like I said, if it's a no to, it's never a no to you personally. It's just a no to whatever that situation was.
And I think that has a lot to do with self-development, developing self enough to know who you are, to be confident in that, especially being a creative. And I think it's important for people to sit with themselves and like be by themselves and just be like, yes, this is who I am. So when I go off into the world, like I'm standing firm in my truth, and like this is who I'm about. Because I've met a lot of people who like, they can't explain to me what it is that they do. And that's another thing too, where especially if you're an artist, an independent artist, brand development is like crucial. And BrickToYaFace is just like the evolution of it. What can you explain about the evolution of the brand development? Because I'm such a fan of it. I think it's just so consistently done, from the Twitter to the Instagram to, you know, all the way to your events. What have you learned about brand development and how important it is?
You have to make it clear for people what's going on.
That's what she told me. Real quick. So there was a time I went to an event. They were holding a fitness event, and Lesa was like, cool, what's your brand about? I'm like, I have a YouTube channel. And that right there, you were dropping some gems. You were dropping knowledge. So please continue. I just wanted to share that because, like, no, like she put me on game, because that conversation, I started sweating. I was just like, oh my god, I thought
we didn't even work out yet.
I was like, dude, I was like, like I thought I had my elevator speech down, but
it's you know, you just have to make it clear what you do, because like BrickToYaFace, you know what BrickToYaFace does. You know what Noah James does. And I have to, like, slowly learning, okay, I need to really figure out what is it that I do. What are my titles?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I do it all, because I'm just like, whatever needs to be done, I'm going to do it.
That's like graphic design. That's flyers. That's like
promotion, booking shows, hitting up people, like whatever, you know what I mean? And it's like, you really have to figure out what is it that you want to do. You know what I mean? BrickToYaFace is a promotion company. We throw events. We're for the community. You know what I mean? We promote things going on in the community. We promote whatever we like, whoever we're associated with. You know what I mean? Whatever going on, that's what BrickToYaFace does. You know what I mean? Noah James is a musician. You know, it's positive music. He's genuine. He's a love monster. Like, he's aggressive, but it's with love. You know what I mean? All that. It's like, you have to make sure it's very clear to people.
And how long did it take for that clear message to develop? Was it just kind of like off the bat, or kind of as things progressed, it kind of...
I feel like with social media, the more that social media started like evolving, then you kind of had to really like, okay, what is my niche?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Not even like in a bad way. It's like, it's social media is like, it's for the whole world. It's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, you know what I mean? So it's like, okay, I need to narrow it down to what do I do? What is my niche? You know what I mean? To where Noah is like, he likes wrestling. It's positive music, self-help. He loves anime. Like, he loves these different things. So it's like, and he does music within with those categories. You know what I mean? So it's like, now we have to start hitting those things. And then like with BrickToYaFace, it's okay. Are we really gonna throw events, or do we want to offer that service to people? What else do we want to do? You know what I mean? Like, we have this base, so it's like we collab with people, and we mainly do events, any type of events. You know what I mean? And we like to do all types of events. Like I said, the fitness one, because that's a part of our life. Like, it's all of it, because we just like to incorporate everything that we do all together. If we could do a music fitness event, then perfect, because we're into all of it. You know, and a food event, like everything.
Yep. And that's exactly what it is. That's one of the points I want to touch on. I've been following your fitness journey, you and Noah, and I'm so proud of you guys.
Thank you.
So motivational. And what I love is that you're bringing this knowledge to the community and trying to incorporate it into others. Like, hey, this helped us, and we want to share this with you guys. So check out that video. I did a video on that. It's really, really awesome. Are you guys gonna be having another one soon, do you think?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, it was fun. See. It was dope.
There's like other events that happen that I promote and stuff on my page. So like group events or whatnot that the trainers do.
Yeah.
So like I don't think we're gonna do that event again. But the trainers do other stuff too. So like we just promote it.
And brand development is also a lot about trial and error.
Yeah.
And for the fitness events, is there like a reason why you're not doing another one? Was it just not?
We have Common Ground going monthly, and then like Cloud9's going monthly, and then it was just
a little bit more.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's real because I know that's an issue too that people have. They want to take on so much because they get so motivated, and the reality is to play to the strengths that you already have.
Yes.
And that's huge. That's major awareness, because I know people get lost in the sauce by trying to take on too much.
Yeah, you in the beginning you have to do it all just so
Right.
you can know it all.
Right.
But you know, we've been going for 10 years, and it's just like it's just playing it smarter. You know what I mean? And like instead of we used to do like 8 to 10
Playing it
shows a
smarter, I
month.
love that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
we used to do so many shows a month, and it was just like now looking back at it, it was like dang, like 8 to 10 shows. That's about like 80 artists a month we have to talk to and like make sure they know what's going on, and like set times and organization, you know, all that stuff. It's like we could do it, but it's like let's just work smarter. You know what I mean?
That
and like just really do it that way, because why are we doing so much when we've done so much? Now it's like what's the smarter way to do it?
That's huge. That's a really important conversation. I think any brand that's developing, any company that's developing, especially as it's like morphing and forming into something, it's like, what are the strengths? What do I need to pay attention to?
And that's what just like people in general too is like, okay, what are your strengths? It's like, what is your God-given talent? And it's like, shoot, you might not want to do it, but it comes easy.
Right.
I mean, it comes easy, so just do it.
Right.
Just you know what I mean? Just utilize that skill or whatever it is. Like just do it.
Yeah, because it's a benefit to the brand, and that's a struggle too.
It's a benefit to just you. Like if it comes easy to you, you know what I mean? Why are you fighting it? Like it doesn't make any sense. You know what I mean? Like if it comes easy to you to do some graphic design or to draw or to just like pick up an instrument and play, like why aren't you just diving into it? You rather go do something that you got to learn and like, you know what I mean, and figure out, when it's like, hey, this is a natural talent.
Why do you think people have that type of mindset where they're
afraid of success?
Ooh.
That's just what it is. Because it's a responsibility. If you're good at something, now you're responsible to be good at it.
That's
you know what I mean? And to
huge.
stay good at
That triggered me. Shit.
That's just what it is. It's tough because it's like, that's something I talk to myself about. Like, you know, why aren't you doing these things? Because it's a responsibility. Once I do it, it's a responsibility. And like, I say responsibility because it's so important. Like people don't understand a responsibility is very important. You know what I mean? And it's like, you decided to do this, so now it's on you to go all the way. Or
right, you can't half-ass it.
You can't.
Yeah, no, absolutely. That is huge. Fear of success. I can attest to that. I definitely stop dead in my tracks sometimes. I feel like I have like imposter syndrome sometimes, almost not feeling worthy of having what it is that I'm building. Do you ever go through stuff like that?
No, not really. I probably undersell us more than anything.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Like I feel like I probably should be giving us more credit than I do.
Okay.
I don't know. Because it's you know, people praise us and stuff, but there's so much more that we want to do.
Just like this isn't even the tip of the iceberg.
It's like, really not. You know what I mean? And I love it. I love where everything has grown into, but there's still so much more that we're trying to do. You know, we're hitting goals that, you know, that have been long time. You know what I mean? Like we've been trying to get at these goals. So it's like, you know, those goals take long. Like all goals take some time, but it's like, it's just so much more that we want to do. And I feel like that's maybe why I undersell us a little bit, just because I just know what the bigger picture is. You know what I mean?
Like you almost don't want to settle into your goal because it doesn't stop there. It's
not it never stops. No goal. You always got to build on that goal.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
For sure. Like that's the realest thing. It's you should always want better for yourself. You know, so it's like one goal is gonna lead to another goal. And we were talking earlier too, where it's like there's goals that there's a goal on the far end that we're not even working towards. We're working towards to get into a position to even work towards it. You know what I mean? Like it's like we're on.
Like I need to evolve first to even
start
receive
to start working towards that goal. You know what I mean? And that's why it's like every day you just try to be a better person. All the bad habits or like, you know, the toxic things that we've learned, you know, unlearning things and relearning things. Like that's why we have to continue all the time. We're always, you know, like how you said, it's like you might not have it right now, but it's like, you know, this is the type of person you want to be, or this is, you know, the type of personality traits you want. So you just work towards them. Right. You know what I mean? It's okay that you don't have it now, or you don't feel like you have it now, but you want it. So just work towards it and, you know, walk with that confidence, you know, and you'll end up getting it. You know what I mean? Like it's hard, but you just have to work toward, with everything you have to work towards. You're not going to be happy. You're not going to be anything if you don't put the effort into it.
Absolutely. You guys just came back from Hawaii not too long ago, right? So
I got this shirt in Hawaii.
Oh, okay.
You know.
Who's this?
It's a surf company out there. Okay. TNC Surf Designs.
Shout out TNC Surf Designs, man. But number one, congratulations on putting together, you know, a tour out of state. And I remember Noah posting something. I don't know how long it was, but I'm putting it out there. We're going to Hawaii. It's going to happen. It's going to manifest. And a few months later, y'all was in Hawaii. Yeah.
Honestly, him wanting to go to Hawaii was like a childhood dream. So like even, you know, he tweeted that. We started planning for Hawaii in like, say July or June or July. Right when we came off of the Texas tour. We came off of Texas and then we did like a Cali tour. And then like, we're just like, we're going to plan for Hawaii.
So I'm sorry, go ahead. Go ahead. How does one take the steps? So you put a goal in place. You have a goal that you want to hit. How does Lesa J develop the steps and the understanding to get to that goal?
So my first step, Hawaii, right?
Yeah.
He's always been, I want to go to Hawaii. All right. He wanted to go to Disneyland. We went to Disneyland for the first time this year too.
So amazing.
So even with that, it was like, I want to go to Disneyland. The homie could get us in. So I was like, I hit up the homie. You know what I mean? And that's it. But for Hawaii, it was like, he wants to go to Hawaii. And we're like, all right, we could do Hawaii. So my first step was get on Google and ask, when is the best time to go to Hawaii? Pretty much, when is the cheapest time to go to Hawaii?
That's a better question, yeah.
So like we went towards the end of summer. So it wasn't super cheap, but it was cheaper.
For sure.
You know what I mean?
For sure.
And that's just how it all started. We picked the day. I looked at picked the day, or you know when we wanted to go, and then we hit up the homie JM who is a part of Productive Culture. He actually grew up and was raised in Hawaii. Okay. Born there. Okay. He's been out here for a couple years. So the Hawaii trip has always been like, we're going to hit up JMKM. You know what I mean? Because he's from there.
Yeah.
So we hit him up and we're like, we want to get together and talk about Hawaii.
That's amazing. And he used his pools in the local community.
Yeah, we have a homie out in Honolulu who we booked him his first show on the mainland here. He did a Common Ground like a couple years back. He actually throws shows in Honolulu because he came out here, seen what we were doing. Yeah. You know what I mean? So he started throwing shows out there. So we hit him up first, and he actually, the weekend that we wanted to go, he actually had a show the following weekend. So we moved the dates to the next weekend. Yeah. So then we had that show locked in, and then we just started hitting up other people that we knew, other connects. Jordan started calling JMKM started calling his connects, just lining stuff up. I just went on IG and just searched for venues, searched for artists out there. Yeah. You know what I mean? I searched mainly for venues just to see, because some venues will promote what's going on in, you know, at their venue. Some venues don't. But you know, just to see, found some venues, found like contact info and just like sent a press kit out. just sent out press kits to different people, and it was just like, we're gonna be there during this time. We're looking to fill in these dates. Do you guys have anything going on? Or, if there's something already going on, can we hop on? Or whatever you could work out or whatnot. And things things came place. Slowly. Like, Hawaii, they're 3 hours behind. So things came slow, it's like 3 a.m. here, and you know what I mean? Because it's only midnight there type of thing. So like things came in slowly, but
that's
ended up working out.
Scenes, man. Like we only see the parts where like, damn, he made it to Hawaii. But I'm like, but like, what steps were taken to get there? Because that's amazing. Especially as an independent artist, like I view the definition of success is making stuff like that happen. Like I feel like a lot of people are too focused on like the glitz and the glam and the fame, and it's like, that's kind of like
stuff
the
will come.
And
that stuff will, if you're working for yourself and putting yourself in a better position, those things will come. It's automatic. You're gonna get money, and then the money, everything else comes. You know what I mean? Like,
right. It's a byproduct of all that.
It's automatic. So there's no reason to even like that be a goal.
Right.
To get money, you gotta get money. You know what I mean? Or a big house or whatever. Like, it's gonna come.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Money is energy. It's just a tool that helps us maneuver.
Yeah, it's really just a tool.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for the day where I'm just like, I don't even really think about money, and it's just like things are getting paid and things are going in and out.
Exactly.
And like I could just make whatever decision I want to make and do whatever. You know what I mean? To where it's like, you're not really even money. You don't even see money.
Exactly. And that's, and the mindset
it's imaginary, really.
And that is something that I'm still working on as well. I have a very, very traumatic money story. But
I'm sure we all have bad money stories.
Yeah, coming from that. Like, but I appreciate the conversation about healing these toxic stories and our relationships with ourselves, and that brings me into the mental health aspect. Especially in the hip hop community, I'm finding it so refreshing that a lot of people are having that conversation of like, I'm trying to break the cycle. I'm trying to, and we went to the Thought Fest, shout out 60 East. That was an amazing event. Mm-hmm. So many like-minded people who are on that path of like worthiness and self-healing and stuff like that. And I'm like, I don't remember having these conversations at hip hop shows. Like, this is amazing. So, what is important to you, or what is your definition of, or what do you work on in terms of like your mental health and to keep you on track and to not have those triggers that a lot of people typically have when it comes to like pushing past your comfort zone, or not having enough money to do this. Yeah,
it's hard. Like it's really all in your head. You know what I mean? Like things always work out. You know what I mean? Like it's really, you just got to talk to yourself. Like I talk to myself often. I smoke weed. Like automatic, when the mind starts running, you got to pack the bowl. Hit that.
That's your ritual to kind of like
always, because it gets crazy up there, you know what I mean? And
that spiral's real, man.
It gets bad. So it's like, but then also you got to realize, okay, stop, don't let it happen, don't let the stop the spiral, stop all that stuff, you know what I mean? Be aware of your triggers, and like don't fall into that feeling, you know what I mean? Because it's like 0 to 60 with me sometimes, where it's, and I know that's a lot of people, you know what I mean? And that's why we keep our composure so well, because it is,
that's fine.
But it's really like, you just have to, these things happen, stuff happens.
And that's guaranteed, like, guaranteed shit is going to happen.
That's if you're working a 9 to 5 or you're working for yourself. You know what I mean? You're going to be stressed. You're going to feel broke. You're going to feel everything. Broke and broken. Like all of it. You know what I mean? And that's if you're working for yourself or working for somebody else.
Right.
But at least like, if you're doing something for yourself, at least like, okay, I'm doing this for myself. I'm going through these headaches or these stressful things because I'm trying to make something better for myself.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's like I said, it's going to be ups and downs. So it's just really,
who do you want to be in that moment? Who do you want to be when you are at that crossroads and you have that adversity and that friction, it's like, okay, am I going to feed into the rabbit hole of negative thoughts, or am I gonna look for solutions? Because my favorite saying, there's a lot of sayings that are like coming back up that I've heard for years that I'm just like, oh, that hits different.
Yep.
But it's like, if you focus on problems, you'll have more problems. But if you focus on solutions, opportunities will present itself.
For sure.
And it's all about, I feel like, asking. The question is sometimes more important than the answer.
No, yeah, definitely. You got to ask the right question.
Yeah.
I mean, even to yourself, you got to ask the right question.
Absolutely.
You know, and it's always like, okay, instead of like, you know, falling into like why and woe is me, it's like, okay, what do I need to pull out of me to get through this situation? What do I need to develop to get through this situation? You know what I mean? Or what do I already have in myself that I need to bring out to get through this situation?
Because a lot of people are asking to be great, but they're not doing anything to reach that.
And I definitely understand that, because I've always asked to be successful, and it's like I always say, you got to be careful what you ask for, because the success comes with the headaches and the stress and the trauma and you being triggered and learning what your triggers are, and then and then learning to not have them be triggers. Like all that comes with success, and like whatever you ask for, you know what I mean? It's you wanting to be great, like all that stuff comes with it. It's the good and the bad,
right?
You know, so you got to be careful what you ask for, and you have to realize like this is all a part of the process.
Oh my God,
I really asked for this, like I wanted this, you know what I mean? I'm doing this, and this is just what I got to deal with.
I gotta step up. Peter Parker's uncle had it right. With great power comes great responsibility. Like, you know, if you're asking to be great, you have to be great yourself. You know, and I find that too, because sometimes I'll go through shit like, God, like why? But you know what? In order for me to get to where I'm asking to be, I have to experience certain things to gain that knowledge, so I can be that vessel for other people, and having that faith that I'm going through this for a reason, you know, and not falling into that.
It's like, it's something new, so you're gonna be learning. It's gonna be hard. Like it's you've never been through it, so it's gonna be different. Like, it's just new.
It's like peeling back the layers of the onion, like learning and revealing new parts of yourself, and that's part of the process. And sometimes it's really ugly, sometimes it's really beautiful, but the evolution, and on the other side of that fear, on the other side of that discomfort is stuff like BrickToYaFace 10 years later, and going
and then too, like you just realizing like, man, I could do this. Like I have it in me, or you know what I mean? I could do whatever. Like Hawaii and everything was really like, man, you could really just make it happen for yourself. Like,
is that what you were thinking when you were there? Like the sun shining,
like I think we're here. Like we really made it happen. Like it didn't matter if we were like, our main thing was to have shows, you know what I mean? Like, of course, get like wherever we go, we're gonna get shows, you know what I mean? Because we're here for shows.
Exactly.
It's not a vacation. It's you know what I mean?
It's important.
But at the end of the day, if we had shows or not, we're gonna be there.
You're like, I'm gonna take this in real quick.
We're just gonna be there, yeah. But it's just like crazy that, you know, certain people believed in us too. And was down to go on this trip with us, and you know, sponsorships or different things, like they really believed in us, and like it was just crazy, just like you said, being out there was just, man, we really just made this happen for ourselves, and now it's just about continuing to make it happen, and you know, making it like we try to be a local everywhere, and we were local in Arizona, you know what I mean, because we always go there. We're local in San Diego because we're always there. Arizona, Las Vegas, the Bay Area, and it's like crazy to be like, we could go to Hawaii and be a local. You know what I mean? It's a little bit more difficult because it's a flight. It's a little bit more expensive because it's a flight. But it's like that's the only thing that you know that's not really a big obstacle when you think about it.
Yeah, when you really break it down, it's like that's it. Just finding a flight.
I gotta find a flight, you know what I mean? And it's like, we met a lot of people out there. They're very welcoming, to where it really felt like we were home, you know what I mean? Just the energy was like the IE of like camaraderie and like things like that. So it's just like, now it's like it's not like I miss it, but I've been just thinking about how to get back.
You're like, I got a taste of it. Like, you know? Like tribe is vibe, and you know, having that type of community, it is addicting. That's why I'm all like, when we're going
when we're on the road, we always like I said, the energy you give is what you get back.
Absolutely.
So like we find you know, people that are cool on the road, or just like Like we try to look for the community we built here everywhere. Because at the end of the day, it's like what? The IE is the only place that has a community like this. Like, come on now.
Right.
You know what I mean? So us not being naive, we went to these places and try to find artists just like us, you know, up and coming, or they're, you know, in their city trying to do their thing, throwing events, you know, they want to put on for their city, like they want to build a community in their city or whatnot. So it's like we go and look for these people that are just like us.
Yeah.
And then start building with them. They come out here, we put them on shows, we go out there, or we send people to them, they send people to us, like, and we build that bridge, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, it could happen anywhere, so why not?
And that's the beauty of networking. That's the advantage of putting yourself out there and developing those relationships, because it gives you access to endless possibilities and doorways that you never may have been able to have access to. Really quickly though, only because, you know, it's very important for me, my platform, to be aware of a lot of things going on in the nation. And I know that Hawaii is going through a protest right now, and you guys got to see that and kind of experience that firsthand. And from what I understand, what you were telling me, they're looking to build a telescope on one of their most sacred mountains right now, right?
Yeah, so right now on the Mauna Kea, it's like, it's from the sea level up, it's the tallest mountain. You know what I mean? Mount Everest, I think from like the ground level up is the tallest, but like this from the sea level up. So like this mountain is like where it's like the clearest sky, like you can really like see out into space. And like, you know, back in the day, the ancestors, that's where they used to like look at routes and all these things, you know what I mean? So right now there's already like 13 telescopes up there.
That's a lot.
Yeah, so they want to build like a 30 meter telescope there.
Wow.
So the protest, I believe, has been going on since 2015.
Wow,
like
I did not know that.
I believe the groundbreaking was like 2015, and that's when like the protests started happening. And like but I feel like a couple months ago is when they just shut down the road. People they have like the tents on the road. They have a barricade on the road. When we went to go see, like people are just like camped out like on the side of the mountain and everything. They have elders there. They do protocol 3 times a day, which is like they do their prayers and like the songs and stuff for the different gods.
Yeah.
They have a school built up there just for you to learn about what's going on.
That's amazing.
They have everything, like information booth. They have a little store for you if you need food. They have a clothing area if you need clothes, first aid, of course. Just everything is set up there for them to protest.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They just don't want no more telescopes.
Yeah.
Like when we were there, they're just like, they had like a rule thing of like, of course, no smoking, no alcohol, no cussing. Like it's just about like good vibes. You know, our main thing is no more telescopes. So you're here to just stand your ground for that. You know what I mean? Because right now it's like the government or whoever is building it has the right to go up there, but they're literally on the road, like on that access road. Like we're there. They're doing the prayers on that road. It's totally blocked off with just the elders' tents, like right on there. So like they could come whenever. You know what I mean? And where the access road that goes up on that side, it's people can get arrested. So what they told us was like, if you're protesting and like anything happens, if you don't want to get arrested, you could go across the street. That's where they have all like the info booth and like the first aid stuff, like all the school and everything is on that side of the street. So like if you don't want to get arrested, just go to that side of the street. But if anything does happen and you're, you know, okay to get arrested, just sit down, let them do what they want to do. And they have people at the courthouse and like at the police station, like gonna take care of you or whatnot.
I wish LA protests were this freaking organized.
And that's the thing. We're out there and it's like, dang, it's like they organize it to where they've been up there for like, when we were up there, they said 57 days. So it's probably over 60 now. There's some people that have been up there and it's literally just like a tent. Like people really have just like a tent, like really roughing it, you know what I mean? But they do have like supplies and stuff for you so that it's not too bad.
Right.
You know?
Right.
But they're just like, if anything goes down, you know, just sit down, let them arrest you. They're like, they're trained on how to deal with violence. So they're not trained on how to deal with peace. So, you know, just let them do what they're going to do. Wow. And they said, if anything really goes down, the line of defense is the elders and then the women and then the men.
I remember you telling me, and I was fascinated by that because we over here are such the opposite of that. And could you elaborate a little bit more on that?
Over there was like a lot of the police officers or whatever, they're actually family members.
Oh.
So some people, like, it's actually family members because it's Hawaii. It's not that big.
Right.
The island isn't that big,
Right.
too. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like you end up having that going on, too.
Oh.
But, it's to them, like they said, they're not violent people. So
Yeah.
the last line of defense is the violence. You know, if it needs to get to that.
That's huge.
You know what I mean? Because, like, it's to me, it's right because it's like you have your elders first
Right.
that are gonna. They're representing what we're here for. You know what I mean? Like they are the ones that are teaching us all of this, and like they're leading by example. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it goes them first, and then the women, and then the men. If it needs to go down that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's just different because at the end of the day, it's really just about human beings. Like they're just It's just so different out there. Like the vibe, everything is
So
just.
I'm like, I want to hear all about it. We don't get this shit over
it's
here.
just crazy. Like there's very like accommodating, very welcoming. You know what I mean? Like we went to go visit, and they were happy to see us there because they just want us to spread the word.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's
Right.
different flags from different countries there and whatnot, and they want you to learn and to join in on the songs and the dance, and they're just like, you guys just being here is good, but we need the voices and we need the action. You know what I mean? Like you just standing your ground is cool, but you need to be vocal and you need to do something. You know what I mean? That's definitely what I learned from just being there. Like that energy and just like seeing everything was just like, yeah, you could talk about stuff and be vocal about what you fight for, but you really gotta like be there and like really take action and like really do something about it.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm sure seeing that firsthand had quite an impact. And feeling that energy, because, I'm all about recognizing our ancestors and understanding where we come from and why, something as sacred as that mountain is so important, because it helps us understand who we are, and it helps us understand our identity, and we can learn so much from other cultures.
Yeah.
And experiencing something like that and hearing about that community, I'm like, I'm jealous. I want to go experience that.
Too, like we realize like Hawaii, they're a part of America because we acquired them. You know what I mean? So they still have their culture.
Yeah.
Like we go to the Big Island and it's still like very nature, like it seems like we're living within the nature. You know what I mean? Like out here it's like I said, everything just flattened, and then we create stuff. You know what I mean? But it's like out there, it's like you're living within nature and like it's
cohabitating.
So like things are very different. It's like the true natural plants and stuff that are there. You know what I mean? So it's very like. It's very cultured out there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like, I understand why, like, going out there this trip, I understand why, like, Hawaiians, like, kind of iffy about the mainland people, because people look at them as, like, an attraction.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like you come to, like, their surfing areas or their sacred areas, and it's just an attraction for you, or a place that you feel you could just use. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's why I definitely understand why they feel that way. You know what I mean? And why you protest and why you stand up, because it's like, if we don't say anything, they're just going to take.
Right.
They're always going to take.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's like, do we want them to take, or do we want to keep things, like you said, the culture and like our ancestors and, the history, you know what I mean? Like, because they'll come and take if you let them.
That is 100% true. And I think we can take a lesson from that and learn from that and understand that, it's more than a Facebook post. It's more than a retweet. It's going out there and experiencing that. So I just wanted to, have my listeners kind of understand, what's going on. I know there's not a lot of media about it. Like of course not, but it's real. It's what's happening. It's what's going on. Next thing I want to talk about, being a woman in the industry. And
it's already different for me because I got no. I'm already.
So you're like already different. Okay, but I know for me, it tends to. There's already kind of like a stigma behind it. So I know, as you kind of, has it always been that way because you always had Noah by your side, or was there a time where you felt, because I am a woman, because like, let's face it, in the music industry, it's a little different. It's a little different. We're treated a little different. I've literally had situations where I was the person and face behind the brand and I built it, and you know, we're talking to people and they literally just like skipped over me because that's just how they were brought up, you know. So I, you know, me being a woman in the industry, have you ever dealt with something like that?
You know, I deal with the usual of like, they don't say what's up to me, they say what's up to everybody else.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then they find out like, oh, she runs BrickToYaFace, and then now it's like, oh, what's up? You know, things like that. Like it's so the typical things of being ignored has always happened. That's usual. Yeah. But like, I know my position and I know, you know what I mean, what I do, so I don't even trip.
Like, let my work speak for
itself. You'll end up figuring out what I do, or like, you know, I have something you want. Yeah. Because it always just comes down to that. Like, I'm not naive, real. You know what I mean? I'm not naive to what we do. So it's like, at the end of the day, it's like, yeah, Noah does the booking for Common Ground, but it's like, I could be like, oh, can you book this person? And he'll be like, okay. You know what I mean? Like, type of thing. So it's like, I don't trip off of that stuff. It's, like I said, the typical stuff of like being ignored, and then like,
do you ever see it changing? Do you
maybe just because now more women are doing stuff, and like, and too with like the women movement, and like, you know, guys they know better now, so you know what I mean, like, because we're talking about this stuff of like, don't ignore the woman in the room, like, say what's up to her too, or like channel. You know what I mean? Things, it's like a lot of women are doing things, so it's like, and what's the whole point of like saying hi to everybody and then not to the woman?
Do you think that's like a cultural thing? Like I personally think that we still have the old stigmas in our culture of, you know, like, women have a certain position, you know, and it's just now being put to light that, you know, like you said, like, women are developing their own brands, they're developing their own platforms, and I almost feel like men are like, I don't even know how to like talk to you.
Yeah, I'm sure too, because with like the whole Me Too thing, I know guys are like, I don't know what to do, and like, you know, and it's just,
sometimes I feel bad. I'm like, it's real sensitive for y'all right now.
And I understand it. It's just hard. Like, just say what's up to people. Be cool. Like, don't. I don't even know what you could do. Because I don't want to be like, just treat her like a dude. But then it's like, I don't know. Like, it's like weird. It's like weird. Just respect her. Like,
make it a part of the conversation.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's just weird. Like, it's just men and women. We're still trying
to figure it out.
Men are trying to figure it out. Women are trying to figure it out. We're trying to figure it out together.
Am I allowed to touch you now? Can I hug you? Like,
they don't want a handshake or hug, and like, and like, to me too, I'm like, I'm so used to like giving everybody a hug because that's like a woman thing. Yeah. You know what I mean? And I feel like that's one of those things too, where like we're kind of like, you know what? I don't want to give you a hug.
That's real.
You know what I mean? Like,
that's fucking real.
Yeah, because like I've been realizing that too. It's like I just give everybody, and I've given random people a hug because I don't know if I don't remember if I met you or not, because I meet so many people, and it's like, hey, here's a hug, and they're like, oh, okay, and I'm like, I guess I should just go for a handshake, because and it's like I said, it's one of those things where you're so used to like being the woman and like giving a hug or doing those type of things, and then you're just kind of realizing like, I don't need to do those things anymore. I could just give you a handshake, or I could give you a dap or whatever, and just take it how it is. You know what I mean? Like that's just it.
No label on it. It's a greeting. Like,
it's just another greeting. You know what I mean?
That's really real.
I don't feel like I don't feel like anybody feels like I owe them a hug, but like I'm just not letting myself feel that way.
Because it's just been.
It's one of those things.
With me, like, I'm half Mexican. I was raised Mexican, so we were taught, like, even if you've never met them before, you give them a hug and a kiss. And one of my family members, you know, she has a daughter, and she's like, I'm not going to enforce something just because it's in a culture. If she does not want to, or like if you've never seen her before, you don't have a relationship with her, if she does not want to give you a hug and a kiss, I'm not going to teach her that, because then they take that on into the real world. So that's real what you said. That's really real, because sometimes I even feel like, I'm like, we give hugs here, like, I don't, you know. So no, that's really real, and understanding that the roles of men and women, especially in the hip hop industry, like, they're changing. Like, Nicki Minaj's and
a lot of musicians.
Stallion, is that her name?
Yeah, Megan Thee Stallion. Yeah.
Stallion. Yeah. I'm so like out of it. Like I don't really listen to like that type of hip hop anymore, but I'm aware of like who's in the game, who's hot, who's like, you know, making waves and stuff like that. But I'm always fascinated by the politics, and I'm always fascinated by the evolutions of
so it's
making our way.
It's gonna be fun. It's like hip hop's so young, and like, you know, it's always evolving, always changing. There's so many new things, and like things reinventing themselves, or like, you know, this and that. And it's still, like I said, it's so young, so it's still just like an open canvas. Like, it's still a lot of blank on that canvas. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
to where people are to some people, they probably see a whole masterpiece already and it's done. Yeah. And it's like, I don't think so. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, if you look at artists now, like the type of evolution hip hop has taken, like, you know, the different sounds and stuff like that. And, you know, how like old school hip hop heads are like, I don't know what this sound is nowadays. And it's like, it's the evolution of the culture.
People hated Outkast.
Really?
People like booed them when they won, I think, like a Source Award or something for like new rap artists, or like when I remember they were getting booed. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, it's like the sound was like very different.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's like new or whatnot, but it's like
and
we love it now.
Right.
Yeah, and that too. Like it ends up they are legends.
Yeah, and we have to thank people like them for setting that up so that we can continue to build off of that and connect, because hip-hop is like the #1 consumed form of music right now.
Yeah.
So it's like
we're the trendsetters and all that stuff. Yeah. And that's for pop culture. Mm-hmm. Like hip hop runs pop culture. You know what I mean? Like, look at Cardi B doing a Pepsi commercial for the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Like, Cardi B. Yeah. You know, not like Britney Spears or Taylor Swift, or like it's Cardi B. You know what I mean? And like, we run the pop culture. Like, we're trendy. We do cool stuff. Yep. You know what I mean? And it is what it is.
We bring the flavor.
Yeah.
So I was listening to Calligraphy's interview with you guys, and you guys have hit the 14-year mark in your relationship, right? The #1, congratulations. That is
Thank you.
Huge. And I wanted to kind of pick your brain in, you know, being in a relationship and also having a company together. What has that dance been like? How has that fusion been?
I feel like for us, that's our dynamic. You know what I mean? Like, we're honestly pretty much together 24/7. You know what I mean? It just works for us, you know, because we look at like, we're gonna be together forever. This is who you're gonna start your life with, your family with. You know what I mean? You have your family, but at the end of the day, you're gonna start a family with somebody.
Right.
So it's been great. Like, honestly, you know what I mean? It's I always say I feel like I lucked out, because like, he's, you know, first boyfriend, first everything, and it's been pretty good, you know what I mean?
That is
of course you have your
That is amazing. I'm sorry. That's congratulations. Yeah, that's huge.
Thank you. So it's just like, there's ups and downs, but it's just like, you learn. You got to communicate. Like, the main thing is communicating, because, you know, we don't read each other's minds. Even if they're explaining something to you, you might not you might not understand it. Yep. Or just like the way you're trying to explain it, they might not understand it. Yep. You know what I mean? So it's really like communicating, just knowing you're not trying to hurt each other's feelings, or they're not trying to hurt your feeling, even if they say something and it ends up hurting your feeling. You know what I mean? You just took it that way.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And it's really like the whole business thing is just, we're working on one goal together. So it's like, you know, multiple people working on one goal, it should be successful sooner, or, you know what I mean? It might as well, because I can't even imagine, like, if I had my own thing and he has like his own thing, and like we have different schedules, and like all, like, I know people do that, and it's like, dang, like, I can't even imagine doing that. Like, to where it's like, we live like a life together but separate. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you pretty much live
and to be successful at that is like, it's beautiful, and I'm sure takes an immense amount of communication. Yeah. And like you were saying, like, I experienced that well. Like, communication is a skill, and especially in a relationship, and when you're building something like BrickToYaFace, and making sure that the philosophies and the values are kind of like on the same path. And even if they're not, you know, like if there's two different goals or there's two different mindsets, being comfortable enough with yourself to be that cheerleader for that person, to be there for that person. But no, that's amazing. That's phenomenal. Like hearing stories like that. Yeah.
And I feel like it's, you know, since like what I bring to the table is like organization and stuff. So it's like, why would I want to, let's say, why would I want to go manage and PR and do marketing and branding for somebody else instead of for the person right here that, you know what I mean, that needs it, that, you know, I could find another musician to do it for, but why not do it for this musician?
Right.
You know, like it just makes more sense. Like, especially like when other couples, and it's like, well, if you guys are doing this things along the same line, then why not do it together? Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because it'll just help.
How did you guys meet?
Online.
Dude, that's like people are just like online. I'm like, girl, it's 2019. Like that's it started happening like years ago.
We've been together for 14 years. So when we met online,
okay,
it was
so
like
back then it was
kind of like you iffy, like you really meeting people online.
So that's an even bigger success story.
Yeah, he was in Florida visiting family, and we just on online chat room. Met there and then met in person.
And that was it.
And that was
the rest was history.
Yeah. Pretty much.
Yeah. No, that's amazing. No, big congratulations. And for it to be such a successful and fruitful and loving relationship that like spills over into the brand. Like you guys are the brand. Like you guys like exude love. Like it's like when I think of you guys, I'm like, I want that love. I love their love. Like it's so like you know like it's that's a definition, and I think that everybody can use that as an example. We don't have, you know, we have our Jay-Z's, we have our Beyonce's, like that's awesome, but you know, to see a relationship, a couple like locally that's accessible, it's like, dude, like this is totally possible. Like, you know, I just had this like this conversation online where I'm like, do you think monogamy is learned, or do you think monogamy is a natural behavior? And regardless of the fact, it's like if two people have the same philosophies and the same goals and, you know, the same vision, it doesn't matter, you know, like it's the preference. But just out of curiosity, do you think monogamy is learned, or do you think it's like a natural behavior?
That's hard, because like you said, it's just like it's just people. What do you like? You know what I mean? Like, you know, it's too. I don't know. I feel, because honestly, I this
girl, she was like, it's not natural. I was like, what? You are female?
Like, not at all.
So I was like, nah.
I feel like, you know, like me and Noah, I feel like we were meant to be together. So it's, you know, so I feel like there is somebody out there for somebody. But with how it's like there's so many people in the world, you know what I mean? It's like it's hard, because it's like there might be multiple people for you, you know what I mean? But then too, it's like I know people who are in that type of relationship where it's like they get this out of this person and this out of that person, and it's like, are you being selfish? Because you're like, I'm trying to, you know, I get the love that he speaks my love language this way, and he speaks my love language this way, and he speaks my love language this way, or she, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, well, I like it's.
It kind of, there's the question of like, I like how you pose that, like, am I being selfish, or, you know, is maybe. As long as like the other people are okay with it, you know.
Like you said, it's if you find people that are okay with, then that's perfect for you. You know what I mean? Yeah. And like, you know, I'm just, for me, I'm with one person, and then that's it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And other people are just like, I love anybody and everybody, and like, I share my love. You know what I mean? And that's perfect. Like if you could find multiple people to share your love, and you know. With each other, and that's perfect for you. I'm not here to judge nobody. Don't try to come and, you know,
just like, don't touch this, girl.
I'm gonna tell y'all right now, you can't. I know some of y'all want to get in this relationship, but you're not getting in this relationship. You can watch from afar. You can have your imagination run wild, whatever you want. But this is just me and Noah.
Oh man,
you might can come do laundry or something, cook some food.
Like, you can kick it, you can hang out, but that's as far as it goes.
That's really.
Yeah, no, Crystal, funny. You opened up that can of worms. I'm asking everybody now. No, yeah, it just, it's just interesting, especially knowing science and human behavior and like the history of like kingdoms and concubines and where marriage comes from. Like, I'm just like, huh, I never thought about that. I couldn't do it personally. Like, I
haven't even like found the history or like all that stuff like you're talking about. So I'm just like, I don't, to me too, I'm just like, I don't care. You do whatever you want to do. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, that's all that matters. Just curious.
Just find,
you know, and
I don't really care. Not like I don't care about a lot of stuff, but it's like, do whatever you want to do.
Yeah,
just do you.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. I'm not here to judge. I'm here to just love you for who you are.
Absolutely, and that's exactly what I think your brand imposes, or what your brand portrays, what you portray. You've helped so many people, you know, on their path, giving them that platform and making that safe space. And, you know, I just want to thank you and Noah for everything that you guys do, because you guys give so much to the community, and it's definitely something I'm like, God, like there needs to be a bigger light on these guys, and anything that I can do to help, you know, shows, cover media, like all that stuff. Like I'm still discovering with myself, like at the Thought Fest, I was like, I could do this. Okay, I could do this. Yeah. Now I'm like,
no, you could do it. You just got to put yourself in the position
and believe that I am that. Like I'm this. I'm a blogger. Like, because it took a while for me to be like, I'm a blogger. Because for a while I was like,
like I said, you have to like claim it. You know what I mean? Like I said, I had to like, okay, what do? I do graphic design. I actually do the titles that I do is actually marketing and branding.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I do these things, and it's like, okay, really putting those titles onto yourself so that you too could be like, all right, so this is what I do. So this is what the people that do this. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a blogger. I have to get content. I got to go cover stuff. I got to talk about certain, news things or whatever. You know what I mean? Or I want to talk about these news things, or I want to talk about this, and I want to put light on this. You know what I mean? And build that content up.
And it's like, and I had to believe myself, because for a while I was like, no, I'm an office manager, but I was like, no, Rissa, you want to make this your bread and butter.
Yeah.
Tell people this is what you do. And I remember the moment that I was like, nope, I'm claiming it. I was at like the grocery store, and this guy like stopped me. He was like, what do you do? And I was like, I'm a blogger. He's like, what? And I was like, yeah, and I have this, and this. And I was like, that was like new for me, you know, because I was actually claiming what it is that, you know, I'm not an employee. I don't do a 9 to 5. I am a business owner. I'm developing a business. But
you could be an employee, but what I'm gonna say is I do this.
If you ask more questions, I'll tell you I'm an employee. But
what I want to talk about is this.
Yeah, exactly. You know? And it's creating that world, and it's training my brain to be like, no, this is what I do. Because for a second there, I didn't even take myself seriously. So it's owning that you're developing and embodying what it is that you have and stuff like that. So, dude, like seriously, keep fighting the good fight.
Thank you.
I full supporter over here. Like, man, I can't thank you enough. I'm just in awe. I remember, because I'm from LA, and when I started dating Eugene, and I would come out to the IE, and watching what you guys do, watching how you moved, I was just like, bro, like this is so important. This is so important to people. And I said earlier, I was like, she's a detriment to the IE, and it's like, it's when you create a heartbeat, you give people a reason. And I know for you, you're just like, I mean, we have miles to go, but it's I'll be the one to say like so many thank yous, and providing all of that, and creating that platform, because that type of stuff is needed. Definitely needed.
Thank you.
Yeah, no,
we know it's neat. Like I said, it's a responsibility to us. You know what I mean? Like us stopping it. You know what I mean? There was a reason for everything. You know what I mean? Like stopping it in 2017, bringing it back in 2019.
That's right. You guys did stop. Yeah. Why'd you guys stop it?
And the main reason was we were just gonna focus on Noah's music. Like the vibe ended up closing down. We moved it and tried to maintain it. It just wasn't the same. And then we're just like, you know what we've built, what we wanted, what the common ground was for, it has created. We wanted to build a community. You know what I mean? So like we build a community. There's people know each other, people are working with each other, you know what I mean? Musicians are making hits, like everything. People are networking. We have a community. So we're like, all right, we could stop. We'll just stop it, focus on Noah's music. He wants to release more music. He wants to tour more. So we're like, okay, let's just do that.
Yeah.
And then that's just what we were doing. Him just doing more music, releasing more, going on tour more, just being out more. And then when the RMA hit us up, was like, we want local hip hop shows. That's when we were like, okay, we'll just bring it back. You know what I mean? Like,
funny, you should hit us up.
Yeah, because they were just like, you guys could, you know, do whatever you want. You could think of a name, rebrand or whatever, and we're just like, might as well just bring back Common Ground.
Yeah.
Like, people are already familiar with it. People were already hitting us up like, you guys need to throw shows again.
Yeah.
There's like nothing going on.
Yeah.
When are you guys gonna throw shows again?
Yep.
And it's funny because it was like only 2 years, but like some people would still hit us up, was like, oh, let me know when you know, how can I submit for a show, or when is your next show? And we're like, we're not throwing shows. Like, we just stopped. Like, we really just stopped. Like, we didn't even say anything really. I think we had like a final show.
Yeah, I remember there was like the goodbye show. Yeah.
Yeah, and then like we just, that was it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And that was like a hard time for me personally, because it's just like, it was a big transition. Like, I was depressed through it all. I didn't feel worthy.
Oh, wow.
It was weird. Like, I did not expect that was gonna happen when we did that, because I honestly wanted to stop doing Common Ground even before that.
Really?
Just because it was like, you know, just we were doing it for so long, and it's like, okay, let's just stop so we could do other things, you know what I mean, and focus on other stuff. But then when it really happened, it's like, oh dang, like
JK.
it was like, oh, okay, I guess, like, you know, you go from throwing like 8 shows a month to nothing, and then it's like, okay, it was good. It you know, every night was a hard night, but it was actually good income now that you think about it. And it's like, now it's like people only hit you up because they're like, they want a show, or they think you don't fuck with them because you're not booking them for a show, but you're not even throwing shows. So it's like, you know what I mean? It's one of those things, okay, now it's like you don't know what to do. You know, your whole life was so consumed with just like planning and organizing events and like doing promotion and like flyers, to where it's like you're not doing none of that like anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's huge. And you weren't expecting to feel that at all. Like, it's almost kind of like, be careful what you wish for.
Exactly.
But there's almost, I appreciate situations like that, because it helps us realize and understand, like, oh shit, like I actually do want to do that. And it was necessary for me to go through this to see that. Yeah. So when you came back, I'm sure you were just like, I'm ready.
Yeah, it was that too. Like, obviously it was the right time to come back. And then it was just like, you know, you learn that you really got to work for everything. You know what I mean? Like, you like to be happy, to get out of depression, or to get out of the funk, or anything. Like, you really have to work. Like, I learned a lot about just myself through that time.
Oh my God,
you know
I'm sure. What's one huge thing that you learned about yourself?
I learned what depression was.
That's important. And identifying what triggers your own depression. Yeah. Everyone has their own form of depression.
You know what I mean? And like, really, like, being in, like, I never went through depression, or I never like realized. I probably went through some type of depression, but never was like, oh, I'm depressed. Yeah. But this moment was like, oh, I'm depressed. Yeah. Like, type of thing. And it's like, okay, I need to not be depressed. I need to change this. I don't like this. Like, I don't like the way I'm treating people. I don't like the way I feel. I don't like the person I am. Like,
did you find yourself projecting a lot?
Yes. I was very mean to people at that time.
I can't even fucking fathom that with
and the thing is, it was like, I was very, and people probably didn't even notice, because I was very like passive aggressive type of thing, or like, you know what I mean? And that's just how I am. Yeah. And then it's like, and then you're very mean to yourself. Yeah. And then it's like these things, and it's like, people are gassing you up so much. Why are you saying these things to yourself? Or why are you treating yourself this way? Or, you know what I mean? It's like, why you need to believe what people are saying. Like, you know, they're not saying it for just to say it, you know what I mean? And even if they are, fuck it, like, just take it, you know what I mean? Like, use it for yourself, you know what I mean? Like, they could be lying, but shit, they said it, so it's like, I don't care, you know what I mean? And it's like, it was a very, like I said, I just didn't want to be there again. So I was like, I'm not gonna go there again. And like, whatever, I figure out, like, you know, learning triggers and not letting them be the trigger. Or like, you know, right when you feel like you're about to go spiral, you just stop, you know what I mean? And like, said, hit the bowl. Like, you know what I mean?
That
Like,
part.
it really,
Yeah.
it's really, like I said, you really have to be active of like, okay. Because too, like, what got me out of it was like, I had to tell myself, like, you know how to do these things. You know how to be organized. You know how to make stuff happen. You know, like, you've done it before. So what is going on?
Yeah.
Like, why aren't you doing it? Like, or why do you feel like you can't do it? Or why don't you want to do it? Like, what is it? You know what I mean? So it was really just like that of like, girl, you been did this. You know what I mean? Like, it was really like all the time. It's like, it really is like, you been did this. Like, what's wrong?
Right.
You know what I mean? You've done it before. You know what it is to organize, and you know what it is to be successful, or to make stuff happen. So like, what are you doing? Like, make stuff happen.
Do you think maybe on some subconscious level these thoughts were always there, and then, you know, as soon as everything stopped and it got quiet, the thoughts that you never really faced before, they were just like loud as shit. Yeah.
I'm sure, because like I said, it was the same routine over, you know, for the doing Common Ground was like, you know, every Sunday, every other Sunday, it was like flyer after flyer.
Right.
It was
So
just,
it's like
the same thing, you know what I mean?
moving.
Like, you promote one week and then you do the same promotion, but now it's just different people. And like, it's the same thing to it. It's just like, you have this routine that you know what you're doing. You know, this is what you need to get done, and this and that, and then to where it comes to where it's like, now you have nothing to do, but you're trying to focus on like Noah and like get him more placements, or like get him into more places. So it's like, it was like a new thing. It was a new thing. It was a new thing just because we never really focused on it. You know what I mean? Like getting him shows, or like, or reaching out to new people. Because he would get shows, of course, because of people we know. And like, you know, they reach out, we reach out to them, things like that. But now it's like, okay, now he wants different things. We want new things. We want change. Yeah. So like, we want something different. So now you got to do different stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it's not like you can't do it. It's just, now since you're doing something different, you might get the no, and you might get the rejection, and it's like,
that's scary.
Yeah, because we were so on top of like, should we throw the shows?
And
we want you on the show. We hit you up. You're gonna be on it.
Right.
Or we hit them up to get Noah on a show, and they're gonna book him. And you know, it was like one of those things of like, you kind of get whatever you want. And then now it's kind of like, okay, we want new things. So it's like, you want new things, so you got to do different things. And like having to just realize that, you know what I mean? Of like, okay, it's not going to be as easy as it used to be. But since you want something different, of course, it's going to be hard.
Ever evolving.
Always.
Ever
evolving. You know what I mean? And it's just, with the evolving is like, learning to just deal with the situations. Like I said, learning, like, it's never a no to you personally. It's just a no to whatever you offered them.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, if you're like, I want $1,000 to perform, and they say no, it's not like they don't like you. They're not just trying to pay you $1,000 to perform.
Don't see the value.
You know what I mean? They might do $150, so you can negotiate, or you know, go that back and forth and like and get something.
Right.
Or you could take it. You know, take it to the heart and be like, oh, forget you, or whatever. But you know, it's really learning that it's never no to you personally. It's no to the situation or whatever you present to them.
That's important.
So you just do the negotiation.
That's important to understand. I need you guys replay that if you need to. It's never no to you, and maybe no to the situation. And you know, that's I study a lot of brand development. I watch my Gary V's and stuff like that, and it's because of him I've been learning to understand how to network, and you just gotta hit the ground running. You just have to, you know, send out those 30 to 100 emails, and you might only get 2 responses, but
it's all the tedious work. Like it's all the tedious work. Like today was just tedious work of just like hitting people up, giving people information about stuff, you know, doing just little things that like today I was hitting people up to do ticket giveaways, you know what I mean? And like, it's something little, but I have to hit up like 10 people, or like,
I get paid tomorrow, so I'm gonna get my ticket tomorrow.
So I have to like think of like, who do we want to like give the tickets to give away, like little things, you know what I mean? But it's like, it's for the bigger picture of Common Ground. Like, so it's like little tedious things. That's why they're always just like, you gotta, like how it's like, you're always on your phone, or you're always sending out emails, like DMing people, talking to somebody. Like, it's these tedious things that you always have to do.
Yep.
Where you feel like, oh, I don't want to do it, but it's like you have to do it.
It's like it's planting those seeds. It's putting each brick down. Like I had this long conversation with one of the homegirls. You know, she's feeling discouraged. She's kind of stagnant right now because of life situations. And I'm like, there's always something to do. You know, like you've built your vehicle. Now you have to put gas into it. And you know, I'm starting to get a little bit more momentum with my brand and stuff like that. And I was telling her, I was like, dude, I dedicate like an hour to 2 hours a day just hitting people up and not just like, look at my shit. I'm just like, hey, how are you? Like, genuinely, I have people that I've never met, but I've known for like over a year, and I know about their lives. I know about their dog. I know about their grandma that passed away. And because of that genuineness, they fuck with me. Because it's like, I'm just another blog platform, you know, like, you know, a lot of people are kind of regurgitating the same thing, but it's like, what reason are you giving them to fuck with you particularly? Like, why should I listen to your podcast about self-development when there's like 50 other podcasts about self-development? And it's like, because I care about you, because I connect with you. And what I've noticed, you know, because there's days where I'm like, nothing will be happening. I won't get any likes. There won't be any comments. And I'm just like, I'm not going to spiral. I'm not going to spiral. And keeping that faith and knowing that what I'm doing adds value. And as long as it's hitting that one person, as long as it's making a difference in one person's life, it's worth it. But the consistency, like forcing myself to sit down, type that shit out, starting to notice that those seeds are starting to bloom. And those, of course, and it's such a beautiful thing, because people are like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm literally not doing anything special. I'm just getting to know people. You know,
it's genuine. You know what I mean? And with social media, it's like people hate it so much, but it's like, man,
it is the best invention
you
ever.
Could be social in the comfort of your own home.
Literally,
you could be
very
and very social. Like, you're the most social butterfly ever,
right?
And you're very introverted.
Exactly.
Like utilize it. It's a tool. You know what I mean? Like,
and it's so
I love
powerful.
social media.
And you got to think back, like, you know, like all like the old school people like Jay-Z and like stuff, like they didn't have this shit, and they had to work twice as hard, do
it's
triple
so
the
much
stuff.
easier
like,
now. We even like touring, when we first went on the MERS tour, he was like, imagine going on tour with a map.
Oh my god.
And we had our GPS, dude, you know what I mean, like on our phone, and it's like,
what's a map? No, like I know what a map is. But
exactly, but it's like it's one of those things, like you want to complain about stuff, but it's like, think about it if you don't have it.
Right.
You know what I mean? If you didn't have this stuff, how well would you be doing?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A lot of people, you could barely handle social media. I know you can't handle face-to-face. You know what I mean? I know you can't. You're over here on social media complaining, but you're not out anywhere because you're introverted. Like, you know what I mean? It is what it is. You know what I mean? But it's like, but you can't really be an introvert if you're trying to be a creative or like a musician or anything in the public eye.
Right.
You know what I mean? Especially now with social media, you could only be mysterious so much, or like you could only do that role for so much because people are living their whole life on social media.
Oh my god.
So like fans are like, I want to know about everything.
Yeah.
I can't get enough about everything. You know what I mean? To it's like, now if you try to play that mysterious, they're just like, I'm not interested.
Exactly, because it's there's so much accessibility. That's what people want. People want access. Yeah. People want to know what you are about. Who's the person behind the brand? Like, why are you doing what you're doing?
Because now they can. They could dictate if they are going to support you or not by you. Not just like, oh, Coca-Cola, I love the soda and I love their commercials, and like they did branding that, you know what I mean? But now it's like, oh, Mr. Coca-Cola, he does nasty stuff. I can't, you know what I mean? It's one of those things where it's like, now it's like with majority of brands now, there has to be a face behind it.
Yep. There has to be transparency.
It has to be somebody that they could relate to, or whatever, you know what I mean? The people, and it's like, then it ends up being, they're going to dictate if they mess with your stuff, if they even just like you.
Yeah, because it's social media has been so detrimental in giving the power back to the people. Like, it's for real. It's such a powerful
Twitter,
tool.
Do your job, or like, you know, stuff like that is the funniest.
Down, man. Like, it's like, find this person, get them fired, and it gets, it gets it done. Like, that's how powerful it is, and that's why, like, I don't feel bad for people who are just like, I can't do this. I'm like, well, are you doing this? Are you doing this? Are you developing this skill? Like, there's endless information. There's videos. You can rip audiobooks off that. Like, I'm not, paying for your shit. But if there's a will, there's a lot you can do. Yeah. Exactly. Like, if there's a will, there's a way. And that's why I'm like, I can't sit in the pity party with you. Yeah. Because it's like, I'm doing it, and I gotta do it's not pretty. I gotta trek through the mud too. You know?
It's like you said, it's not pretty. The process is never pretty. The process of anything, it's the process. It's the steps 1 through 10. We want to get to just 10, but it's like you gotta go 1 through 10. Like, and Noah always says you have to just love the process.
I was gonna say, have you learned to love the process?
I'm slowly.
I'm like, no.
I'm slowly just like learning stuff, because like it's really like this Hawaii tour was like, man, you really just making shit happen for yourself.
That's such a beautiful feeling.
Yeah, it's just like
the shit. Like, oh my God.
It's just like and then I'm just like, you just gotta make the decision. You just have to make decisions. You know what I mean? Like,
and not worry about the how. Like,
just make the decision, and like, there's times where I just fall, like, trip back on like, how are we gonna make it happen? But it's just like, you know what? You have a plan. Stick to the plan. And just, have faith in yourself that you're either going to get sponsors or whatever. You're going to get whatever that's going to make it happen.
I'm calling it in.
You know what I mean? And sometimes you got to call in your favors, or you got to pull that card, you know what I mean? But it's like, you really just got to make it happen for yourself. And like I said, it's always the decisions.
Yeah.
It just comes down to the decision of like,
making up your mind.
Like I said, I'm going to decide to go on Google and find out when is the cheapest time to go to Hawaii. And just start from there, or do something.
And it's asking questions and how to get something done, not looking at, well, I can't do it because of this, I can't do it because of that, and the thought process and the mindset, and that's why it's like, damn, they did it. Like, they said they were gonna do it, and they fucking did it, and they did it expeditiously. Like,
it's crazy.
So that's amazing. Who are your idols? Who are people that you look up to? Is there like material, books, videos, stuff to keep you like in alignment with yourself and with your vision?
I don't read.
Girl, a lot of people don't.
I don't read. Honestly, like with idols and stuff, like everybody to me is just a human being. Like I don't idolize anybody. They're, they just are more fortunate or whatnot, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, everybody's a human being.
You recognize it, like they had to work just like I was.
Yeah, you know what I mean? They just was in certain positions or whatnot, and they're at where they're at because that just happened, you know what I mean? There's certain people that I love Steve Jobs just because he's just like, we got to make it happen. You know what I mean? I don't care. Like, I want this.
Yeah.
And, we can't get to this because we don't have this. Well, then get this done so we could get to this. You know what I mean? And it was like not taking no for an answer and just wanting to be innovative and like just make a difference. You know what I mean? And it's like I follow Gary Vee just because he cusses a lot. Like he keeps it real.
Gary Vee, man. He keeps it so real. Yeah. Like, he's just like, you're not successful because you're not fucking doing anything.
Yeah, exactly. And that's just like how I am. Of just like just give it to me straight. I don't want no like, oh, this
no
and
fluff.
Like no, yeah, and you could find it in a book. No, just fucking tell me. You know what I mean? Like I understand like you gotta pay for your consultation and stuff like that, but like just give me one gem. You know what I mean? Like just fucking tell me. Type of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, just like people, I don't really idolize people. It's really like Noah gives me a lot of wisdom,
bits and pieces.
Yeah,
from what
a lot of things like I'll it just reassures me that I'm like on the right path, or like my mindset is like on the right path, and like certain things like that
helps you feel reassured, or like that's a sign that it's on the right path.
I honestly like a lot of Gary Vee stuff, like what he says and stuff, or like people will like recommend certain books, and like I'll like skim through it or whatever, and it'll just be like, okay, I'm doing that. Okay, I'm like,
have to read the whole book sometimes to get a message. Yeah, absolutely.
So it's like different things like that. Like I'll get just reassurance from like people that are doing their thing, and it's always like I've always just been like, okay. I'm of course look towards people who are in a position that I want to be in.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I'll listen to anybody. I'm open to anybody's advice, whatever knowledge anybody has. But I'm always just keeping an eye out on just people who are doing things that, of course, I want to be at one day, and seeing what they're doing and how they're maneuvering, and at the end of the day, it's just you just got to make it happen for yourself. You know,
That's
you can
it.
read all the books you want. You could go to all the speaking engagements and all the panels and everything like that. But it's like, you still got to make that decision.
Exactly. And don't use it as a crutch. Don't use it as an excuse. Like, I'm still learning. I want to get perfect. It's like, yo, you got to apply it at some point.
Because we're always just like, just do and learn. And you know, go and do it and learn, you know, because you're going to have to, it's all within the experience.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
A lot of things we just kind of, you know, thought like, it was just like an enlightenment on our own accord, and like we're figuring things out, and then later we read a book or we hear Gary Vee say something, and like, oh, that's exactly what we did.
Exactly. Okay, we just have a definition for it now. Cool.
Exactly. Like, you know what I mean? Or it's just the reassurance of, all right, your mind is on the right path, or like you're thinking the right way, or like certain things. And two, it's just like things, you know, you do things your own way. You find your own way to do certain things, you know, and create the tribe that you want to. And, you know, I feel like the IE, we're very, our community that we've built is very welcoming and supportive of each other, because Noah is just like that. You know what I mean? And then the end of the day is Noah, you know, we started Common Ground and we started the hub. So it's like, it's you know, it trickles down. Yeah. You know, like the person who's not at the top, but you know, the person who started it, it trickles down the energy.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean?
And that's him staying true to himself, and you know, what you put out will come back to you. Like,
because people know you can't come to Common Ground or any of our events.
Not with that bullshit.
Like, exactly. You know what I mean? It's you're gonna get dealt with, and that's like we're gonna confront you. You know what I mean? Not like you're gonna get hands on you. If it doesn't if it gotta go that way, then it'll go that way. But we'll confront you of like, why are you doing this? Or you know what I mean? Or you'll get kicked out or whatever. Like something will happen. You know what I mean? Right. But people just know, you know, it's Common Ground, BrickToYaFace events are just
space.
Come chill, learn, you know, get to meet people. Really, I like, it's just a place for you to just get away from everything else, especially if you have a 9-to-5 or you know, you have life going on. Like, come to Common Ground, chill out, eat. That's what meet people.
Food is so miss those Noah fries, man.
We trying to get that back, but it's funny because it's like we won't eat them.
Right? Oh, that's and like your whole fitness thing. That's what we've talked about so much. Like that was another thing that I wanted to touch on. You know, kind of taking control of your health and realizing, especially with wanting to tour more, and you know, how has that difference been? Like, you guys look fucking amazing.
Thank you.
Like, oh my god! And I'm like, let me go do some stuff. Like, hold on a second. But how has that transition been? Like, first of all, what happened where you made the decision? You both made the decision. Like, nope, we need to take control of this now.
Honestly, Noah made the decision. After he did a show with Denzel Curry at the Glass House in Pomona. It was a very good show. Like, the crowd was super turned up. Like, they loved him. But we noticed that, you know, he has to jump around so that the crowd will jump around too. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's one of those things. Like, that crowd was like, the energy you give them, they'll give it right back. You know what I mean? So after that show, he was out of breath. You know what I mean? It was super lit. So he was just like, just out of breath. And he was like, I gotta hit up Renato. And
shout out Rinaldo. I'm trying to use my accent.
No, you can use the accent.
Like,
I'm gonna say
it how I said it.
But because we had met Renato too, and he was just like, you know, if you ever need a personal trainer, hit me up. You know. So it was just after that show, like, it was super turned up. It was very winded. You know what I mean? So he was like, okay, I need to hit up Renato and
that's amazing.
Just get it in. So. Obviously he's going to work out, so I'm gonna go work out too. You know what I mean? Like, right. And this was all in like going through depression and all this stuff. Like me, like not even real. At this time, I wasn't even knowing I was depressed. You know what I mean? I was acting different and all that stuff. And then so the workout did really help me like focus and like, you know, it was just something for me to focus on. You know what I mean? So yeah, Noah made the decision, and two, he wants to tour more and whatnot. So it's like if. At the end of the day, if you got to be here to do whatever you want to do.
Take care of yourself, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you got to just be able to be here to do anything, you know what I mean? So he really just made that decision, and I just went on for the ride, and we all benefit. We all benefit.
And we're here, looking good, feeling good. Yeah, no, it's been very inspiring to watch, and I really enjoyed that event that you guys threw. Skywalker Mike, shout out Skywalker Mike with the tunes. Yeah, that was awesome. But it's been beautiful to watch your guys' transition.
It's been crazy. It's like when people say it's a lifestyle change, it really is. Like I never thought like. I never was athletic or like worked out, you know what I mean? So like I'm not thinking like, oh, a part of my whole life living on this earth, I'm gonna go through like this whole fitness thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? Right. But it's cool because like, you know, you and that it made me learn like you could really live just multiple lives because people treat you different. I'm like, once I lost all this weight, like people treat me way differently. And it's kind of fucked up.
Interesting. How are they treating you differently?
People start to see me more.
It's interesting.
You know what I mean? I was like,
I'm only asking because I'm like, I can definitely relate to that.
I'm like, I was freaking 80 pounds heavier and you didn't see me.
Wow.
And now, you know what I mean? I'm 80 pounds. You know what I mean? It's just crazy. And then my uncle's brother, he was like, when we were on this journey, he had lost a bunch of weight. And he's like, yeah, people are going to treat you guys different. People will say things that, you know, they would normally say behind your back. You know what I mean? Or they'll say, you know, say certain things. So, like, he was telling us this, and I'm just, like, you know, taking it in, not really, like, giving it a thought. And then, like, you know, starting to lose weight and starting to look different. And then this, you know, people are asking, you know, have you always been with her? And I'm like, what? Like, I was like, we've been together for like all these years, and you know what I mean, type of thing. And you know, you get more, of course, more stares and all that stuff, and it is very new to me because first I don't even like attention in general, and then it's like I already get attention from like doing BrickToYaFace, and then now it's just like, whoa, Lisa, and
what?
You know, I'm just here, trying to be healthy.
But it's you know, I can definitely relate to that because I was an athlete for like 15 years and I went through a depression as well, a pretty heavy depression. I didn't even realize how bad it was. And it's interesting that you say that because it's like, I don't think a lot of people do know that they're hurt. Yeah. I was in a really toxic work environment. You know, I should have got out a lot sooner. It was bad. Like I gained 80 pounds. I was at the heaviest I'd ever been. You know, mentally I wasn't used to that. Like I was used to being active. So learning how to love myself, but also being okay with starting at ground zero was like, what the fudge? Yeah. So developing that relationship, understanding that like, hey, I'm not an athlete anymore. This is actually a way of life. And I need to remember that I don't need to work out really crazy at the gym because I'm going to come back tomorrow. Yeah. So now I'm like, I'll follow my routine, you know, I'll show up for myself. That's what was important is like, I need to show up for myself. Like that to me is self-love, is doing the things necessary to develop myself into the best person that I'm trying to be. Yes. And me just going to the gym was like huge. That was like after 3 years of like doing nothing and my body, I'd never experienced like muscle atrophy. Like I didn't even have butt muscles anymore where I could walk right. And then like I built the butt. Like, so I'm appreciative for that reference point because I'm like, this is why we need butt muscles. Oh, it's not just for the booty thing. Okay. But it was like for posture and for strength and like all of that. I was like, oh.
It's crazy. Like I definitely feel like different.
Yeah. You know, more pep in the step.
Yeah. And like you figure out like, okay, you know, you've been slouching or certain, you know, certain little things like to now where it's like you're doing things properly of like lifting weights or like bending over, like, you know, because at the end of the day you're just working out to do things properly, turning and bending and stuff like that. So it's like it's very different.
Mentally, how have you been dealing with that transition? Is it kind of like, because I know with like weight loss sometimes, I know for me the brain doesn't always catch up to the body, and it kind of takes a second to be like, yeah, like I'm this person. I work out now.
No, like, I'm like starting to notice like my change. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'm like starting to notice a change. It's been only hard mentally, like with the eating. Cause like we did like right now we really just eat like chicken and vegetables. Yeah. You know what I mean? It would either be like a chicken salad or like broccoli, carrots, you know, cauliflower, and it was like there was a point where I was like, am I really gonna eat this all my life? You know what I mean? It was like, is this all I'm gonna eat? Yep. And then it's just like, no, like, hear me? No, like it's just, you gotta eat this the majority of the time. Right. You know what I mean? And like,
it's all about balance.
Yeah, you could eat other things too, but just, you know, just be mindful of it and like things like that too. Like, we don't try to be so much like a health freak or like, you know, fitness freak or whatever, but it's just like, okay, just be mindful and like try to not do too much. You know what I mean? Spread out the sweets a little,
it's part
or
of
like
who you are now, whether you like it or not. Like, it's who I am now, because it's like, that's, you know, same thing here. Like, I fucking love food, man. I was just telling my friend, I was like, give me a little Debbie zebra cake. Girl,
the sweets. Noah is like, the sweets is like the bad thing. Me and
Noah cannot kick it then.
I honestly, like, I don't even have like food issues. Like, I don't even have like, I don't like, my emotional eating is actually not even eating. Like, when I get emotional, or like when I have no appetite. So like, I don't even have like that emotional eating thing. Okay. You know what I mean? So it's like weird for me. Like, I'm not a picky eater at all. Like, I'll eat whatever. I'm very like routine. Like, even though we're like carefree and stuff, I like my routine.
Yeah, structure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's
absolutely.
like, I always eat. I love oatmeal. And I really like just like chicken salad, you know what I mean? And like, that's it type of thing. So it's like weird that to me, like, it's like the eating isn't even like an issue for me. It's just, I just need to figure out different things to make. You know what I mean? Or like stuff like that. I'm just trying not to be so routine. You know what I mean? It's so easy too for me to just be like, okay, oatmeal every morning, and then chicken and salad, or this and, you know, just like.
Like, I hated cooking. I hated grocery shopping. But because it was important for me to like incorporate everything high vibrational as possible, and that even means the food that we eat, and cutting out processed sugars. Like, I did intermittent fasting to really, really, really examine my psychological relationship with food, because I'm an emotional eater. Like, I numb myself with food. That runs in my family. Like, I was raised off of pastries. Also, I'm half Mexican and black, so if
it's all good.
We
Everything.
ate. If it was Sunday, we ate. Somebody died, we ate.
If it was a day, we ate.
We got together, like, we ate, you know? So, and I was talking to my cousins. I was like, you know, culturally speaking, I think inadvertently we've developed an eating disorder, because I don't know how to turn this off.
Yeah.
So I had to, like, you know, and I tell everyone, I'm like, if you're trying to change your behavior, you know, especially with food, intermittent fasting literally changed my life, because as soon as I got hungry, I'd be like, okay, am I hungry, or am I just trying to avoid something? Like, you know, like, and I got frustrated that I became a slave to my impulses. Yeah. I'm like, really, Larissa, you can't say no to a fucking bag of chips? Like, and I'm over here like, oh my God, like, I just won. Like, and that was the point where it's just like, nah, bro, like, I gotta find a way to separate from myself, separate that emotionally. So that's awesome that, you know, I mean, it's not awesome to like have the problem, but, you know, like, it's a lot of people use, you know, especially in the United States, food as a vice. And,
it's too easy. You know what I mean? It's natural, I guess, you know what I mean? It's understandable, because it's like, that's sometimes our love language too.
I was about to say, like, food is love.
Like, it really is, you know, because like, if somebody asks you, have you eaten, they care about you.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? And exactly.
It really is what it is.
You know? Like, when Eugene comes home with like my favorite juice and doesn't even ask, I'm like, oh my God, I want to have all your babies. Like,
of course, you know what I mean? And those the little things, you know what I mean? It's nice, but it's like.
Yeah, there's a balance. There's definitely a balance. Like, I don't deprive myself, but what I've noticed with the intermittent fasting was rewiring my brain.
Yeah.
You know, whenever I crave something sweet, I'd be like, okay, Larissa, this is the agreement we're going to have. You can have your little Debbie cake, but you need to have a piece of fruit first. If you're craving something sweet, have a piece of fruit. If you still want it after that, go have it. 9 times out of 10,
you're good.
Sweet, I'd be good. And then it got to the point where I began actually craving fruit.
Yeah.
And I was like, who the fuck am I? Like, I've never even, like, I remember Box of Donuts was at work, and I had, like, strawberries with me. And I was like, I'm good. I actually want the strawberries. And I was like,
that's good.
Is that me? Yeah. Me talking?
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's definitely, it's definitely interesting. Yeah,
and we're growing up. You know what I mean? I was like, we
That
know
part.
better. Like we're growing up.
old. My knees is cracking. Like,
but the thing is, if we keep working out and eating good, then we'll feel good. You know
that
what
part,
I mean?
yeah. Especially like my family, like diabetes, cancer, all of that runs in the family, and just watching what family members went through, it's like I don't want to be that when I get older. So
yeah, and then we have to break the cycle. So when we have kids, you know what I mean?
Yes,
it's
absolutely.
like instilling this in them already,
Absolutely.
and not like as a chore or like, you know what I mean? It's for you to be healthy. You know what I mean? Like it's nothing. It's just you. If you want to play outside and you want to be able to, you know, do all these things, you have to be healthy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And now we just, you know, we're just preparing ourselves for when we have kids and like when we have our own life.
That's amazing.
You know?
Yeah, no, it's, you got to think about your future self. You have to make investments now. Get over this whole instant gratification thing.
Yeah.
And understand that it's a marathon and it's not a sprint. And, you know, if you want to make changes, you got to do the work to make the changes.
Yeah. And you have to put yourself in like uncomfortable situations. It's always that, like, because what do you expect? If you want something different, you have to do different things.
Yep.
You know what I mean? You have to do things you've never done, you know, to get something different. Like, it just makes sense.
Einstein said a quote, oh God, I hope I say it correctly. Like, it's like you can't fix a problem with the same consciousness that created it.
Oh, yeah,
like,
definitely.
Yeah. And I was like, my guy, like, yeah, that's definitely real. Like, it's
yeah, and they say what, like, going insane or something is like doing the same thing over and over and then expecting something different.
Yeah,
so it's like,
absolutely.
It all makes sense. You know what I mean? It just don't try to fight it. That's the whole thing. Is like when we try to fight it of like, no, I'm gonna keep doing this because it's gonna work out. Like,
it's like, boy, you keep playing that movie montage in your head and you're not dealing with the reality of who you are right now. Like, I was just talking to the homegirl. I'm like, we do ourselves such a disservice because we don't want to move unless we're going to be this person we see in our head. And we have to understand, like, you got to take the first step first. Like, you over here, you know, imagining yourself running a mile when you can't even walk up a flight of steps without being winded. You know, like, you got to start baby steps to get there. Like, you know, so, you know, dealing with that truth, and I had to deal with that truth where I'm like, girl, we need to get it together. So it's a lot of people don't like to have that ugly, truthful conversation with themselves because it ain't cute.
It's not. But it is what it is. And at the end of it is you're just trying to be a better person.
That's it. And that's showing yourself love. That's, you know, having those conversations. Absolutely.
And you should welcome those. You know what I mean? As much as it, you know, I always say you got to check yourself before somebody else checks yourself.
Okay.
So, because that's even more embarrassing. You know what I mean? If you tell yourself, man, you've been fucking up, you've been doing these crazy things, it's like, all right, I'm gonna change. But if somebody else tells you, you might end up getting offended.
Yeah.
Which is like they're just telling you, you know, the real.
Exactly.
And then like you might get offended, and then you don't see it.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you end up.
Because you're not in a space to receive it because you never had that conversation with yourself. Yeah, absolutely. That's real.
Like I said, it's better if you do it than somebody else.
Okay, because the last thing I want is someone else's perception of me. And it's just like, look, I already know. Okay.
And then too, if you already know, then well, get to it.
It's like, even worse. What are you doing? Like, no, absolutely. Dude, so almost 2 hours. This has been.
I'm surprised. I thought it was gonna go 3.
We can. I'm pretty sure we can.
I already know. That's why.
So I think we're gonna stop it here. I know this will there will definitely be a part 2. Definitely gonna come out to a lot more events. That's something I'm working on for myself. The reason why Close Your Fuzz is growing the way that it's growing is because I'm doing the things that make me uncomfortable, putting myself out there. Like, even at the Thought Fest, I'm like, fuck, I'm socially awkward. Okay, I need to keep doing this. I just need to keep doing this, you know?
That's it. Just putting yourself in the situations. Like I said, it's like you're a blogger, so you got to do these things. And, like, just putting yourself into those situations more and more, then you'll just get more comfortable and, like, certain interactions that, you know, you were awkward before are gonna not be awkward now because you've been through that interaction. Like, that's why it's like with everything, you just got to do it so that the more you do, the better you get at it, and the more comfortable you get at it.
I call it, like, it's the equivalent of going to the gym. It's like a muscle that you flex and that you develop, and it gets stronger. Like, the more that you do it, the more you discover about yourself, and then it just becomes easier. But instead of using it as defeat, I use it as data. And it's like, okay, I just have to build from here. Got it. Yeah.
No, yeah. That's good.
Yeah, because a lot of people be like, you know, that was weird. I don't want to come back. And I'll be like, that was weird. I want to, like, get better.
Yeah.
You know, and it was amazing. Like, I can't wait to interview 60 East, but like the energy at that festival was like amazing. It was so cool. It made it easy for me to talk to people, and I'm glad that was an event that I can kind of like put my feet back in, get my feet wet again, you know. So yeah, shout out to everybody there, all the vendors that I met. But yeah, dude, it is a journey, and we gotta love it, and we gotta love ourselves at every single fucking stage, man. Yeah, dude. So there will be a part 2 eventually. Definitely, we can keep talking forever. Sure. Lisa, where can they find you? What's the next show? Just to anything you want to say it.
You can find me on the internet.
Just type in Lesa J, Lesa J. That's what I did, and I'll say, oh, scroll.
Yeah. IG is the best thing. Twitter. You know, we got Common Ground at the RMA. Just follow BrickToYaFace. We'll promote all over there. Sunday is the next one. I'm not sure when this will be released, but
I think it might be after, but I'll still post about it. But what's it called? If you are an artist, if you're looking to connect, make sure you guys reach out, become a part.
Come out to Common Ground. Come out to the events. Like, if you want to get booked for a show and you've never been to a show, come out to a show. It's common courtesy, honestly. Like,
common courtesy at the Common Ground.
You know what I mean? I honestly, too, it's the best. It's your first impression. A lot of your first impressions have been in my DMs, and that's not cool. You know what I mean? Like, the first impression should be in my face at my event that you want to perform at.
That's huge.
Like that, it doesn't make any sense to me for you to not come to the event.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that your friends come. Yeah. And you tell me that your friends are coming, and your friends are telling you should come, but you should come.
Right. It's like, that's cool, but have you experienced it?
It's plain and simple. You know what I mean? Absolutely. Find me at the events. Find me at shows. Say what's up. You know what I mean?
She's mad cool. She doesn't bite, I swear.
Just don't say the wrong
Not
thing,
hard.
Right?
But yeah, again, thank you so much for this Culture Fest conversation. So many gems in here. I can't wait to have you back on the show. You guys watch out for my footage. I'll definitely be at more Common Ground events. We'll be showcasing artists, giving them a platform. So yeah, that's it. Culture Fest out, guys. Bye.